to Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, and welcome again to the Bebe Means Business Show. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, my name is Bebe Clement, and it is always my honor and my pleasure to be the host of the show that brings you all the information and education and knowledge and tips, advice that you may seek with everything and anything to do with business and entrepreneurship. The aim of this show is to help you to build, grow, and protect wealth so that you may become financially free and live the kind of life that you want to live. And my quest is to enable you to do that, and to do that in the soonest amount of time. I hope you've had a great week. Today, we have a live show, as you know. For the last couple of weeks, we've had a recorded show because I've been out of town. But today is a live show, and it's going to be a really good one. I'm going to be talking today about how to make money from public speaking. How to make money from public speaking. Now, I really believe that a lot of us are leaving money on the table by not acquiring and perfecting this skill, because believe me, I am a living witness that there is a lot of money to be made from public speaking. So as this show is only an hour long, there are only a few avenues that I'm going to be able to take you down in relation to building wealth via public speaking, but they're well worth the time. So I would encourage you to take notes, get your pen, paper out, your iPad, whatever it is that you use these days to take notes. But it is important that if this is a skill that you are defective in, that you begin to acquire this skill, hone this skill, practice it, and become good at this skill. I'm strongly of the opinion that the most important skill in today's marketplace, indeed of the 21st century thus far, is the ability to speak well in public. And like I said earlier, you can make a hell of a lot of money if you know how to use this skill well. It's also one of those skills that is multifaceted. It's of multifaceted use to you. You can use this skill for marketing, you can use it for branding, you can use it to sell, you can use it to attract customers. It is an amazing skill. So it's really important that you get to know how to do it and how to do it well. Now, many of you know, sorry, I might sound a bit croaky. I've got a bit of a flu left, just recovering from the flu, so I might sound a bit croaky. Now, many of you know I have done a lot of study into what makes the Jews so successful as a people, particularly in the area of wealth creation. Why are they so good at what they do? And I've discovered that one of their secrets is that they develop their verbal confidence, and they develop it at a very early age. They even have a word for it. It's called chutzpah. I hope I pronounced that well for my Jewish brothers and sisters that might be listening. But they have a word for it called chutzpah. And chutzpah, loosely translated, is the ability to verbally express yourself well, to ask questions, and to make demands for what you want. And one of the things that the Jews do is they teach their children how to do this from a very young age. Now, obviously, I'm from African descent. And in Africa, particularly in my generation, we have a custom of children are to be seen and not heard. So when your parents tell you something, you are not taught or not allowed or not encouraged to evaluate what has been told you. You are supposed to swallow everything they told you, hook, line, and sinker. You are not taught to think about what they told you, to evaluate it, and definitely not to question it. You are to take it as gospel. And as a result, often we have grown-ups in my community who are unable to not only express their opinion, but find it difficult to evaluate an opinion, find it difficult to express themselves contrary to the status quo. I've got to be, I'm really thankful, I'm eternally thankful for the kind of father that I had. My father was quite different in his way of raising us. And I remember, I'm the eldest of 12 children, and he spent a lot of time training me. And one of the things that he used to make me do almost on a daily basis was he would make me read one of the newspapers, the daily newspapers, something like The Guardian, the equivalent of the UK Guardian. He would make me read the editorial of it. And then he would say I should write a summary of what I had read. And when he comes back from work, we would sit down together and he would ask me what was the editorial about, what did I think of the editorial, what were my views, did I have a contrary view to the conclusion that the editor had come to, why did I come to that conclusion, and that kind of thing. So it really made me begin to, one, be able to assimilate a lot of information, but also be able to look at information critically and to be able to put an argument together and verbally express that argument in a logical, concise, comprehensible way. So I'm eternally grateful to my dad who helped me hone that skill. And then later on, I then joined the debating team. And my dad again would help me craft my argument when I was going to go and debate. He would even give me Latin phrases because he understood Latin. I don't know why, but he understood Latin. And he even taught me some Latin phrases that I could insert into my debate, which made it even more interesting and exciting for those who were listening. So I would strongly encourage, and I've done the same thing with my children, I would strongly encourage you, particularly those of you who are from African descent, that you get into the practice of having conversations. Some parents never even have proper conversations with their children beyond their daily chores or their education. But sit around the dinner table and talk with your child. Let your child get used to expressing their opinion in public. Help them improve their public speaking skills. Let them improve in things like their body language, like their eye contact, which is very, very important in your ability to speak well in public. Eye contact is so important. And again, I think those of us who are from African descent are at a disadvantage in that. I remember that when I was younger, if you were speaking to an adult, particularly a male adult, it was considered rude to maintain eye contact with an adult. So if you were being told off, for instance, if you were being reprimanded, it was your habit to look at the floor. And that followed me, I can use myself as an example, that followed me into my adult life, such that even now, I have to make a conscious effort to maintain eye contact when I'm speaking to people. So again, these are the things that you want to do with your children to help them so that they can grow up being confident. They grow up with some chutzpah, being confident to verbally express themselves, formulate an argument, express that argument, and make demands for what they want. It's really important in the world in which we live in today. These things matter, even in things like job interviews, which again is public speaking. I remember my husband; he used to be on the recruitment board of a company that he was working for. And I remember he used to come home lamenting, saying, "Bebe, this, it's really heartbreaking. Sometimes when I have African interviewees, I know that on paper they are actually the best candidate for the job, but they don't know how to sell themselves. They just don't know how to sell themselves. And so it's very difficult for me to justify giving them the job, despite the fact that on paper it's clear that they are the best qualified for the job." So these things are important. Again, we are losing money by not honing this skill. So I want to just give you some examples of how you can make money from being able to speak well in public. All right. So one of them is to hold seminars and webinars. Now, you might be thinking, "Oh, well, I don't know how to do that." Listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And I do it quite often. Now, this is the best time, honestly, this is the best time for business, one, entrepreneurship, but the best time to use your public speaking skills to make money, because we are in the information age, or the age of knowledge. People want to know. What do they want to know? They want to know anything about everything. So if you have a particular area of expertise that you can turn into a training course or a seminar or a webinar, then this is the time to do it. Don't hesitate. You can sell it, and it doesn't matter what area of knowledge it is. So for instance, a lot of our young girls, I'll give this as an example. So you might be thinking, well, Bibi, the only thing I know how to do is cook. Fantastic. Fantastic. If you know how to cook, that's fantastic. Those of us who are of African descent and we're living in the diaspora, whether it's America, UK, wherever, one of the things that is we're observing is that our young women, our children, are losing the art of cooking African meals for whatever reasons. It doesn't seem like we're teaching our young women, our daughters, how to cook African meals. They love their jollof rice, but they don't know how to cook it. So if you know how to cook, do seminars and webinars on something like that. Start with what you know. I'm a great believer in start with what you already know how to do well. So offer a webinar, £20, £30, on how to cook jollof rice. Do that and send it out and take them through it step by step. That is one way in which you can do it, and then you can make money from that. Now, I do loads of seminars on all kinds of things. I do seminars and webinars on things like how to sell, the psychology of selling, how to find customers, how to start a new business, marriage and money, all those kind of things. So I'm telling you, the more you start, once you begin, you get over that first hurdle of fear, that first hurdle of, oh, how do I put this together? Once you've done the first one, your confidence will grow. And it doesn't matter how many people sign up. If it's one person that signs up, it doesn't matter. It means that at least there is a need for whatever it is you're offering. And if you do it well, that person will go and tell somebody else, and the next time you will have more people sign up. Now, when you first of all start out, the truth is you will have to pay your dues like everybody else. So it's possible that the first one you do, you may have to do a freebie. But don't get into the habit of doing freebies. Once you've established your credentials, once you've established your name a bit, and people know what you do and you do it well, then start charging. Definitely start charging. Don't be afraid to charge, because if you're doing whatever it is that you're doing well, people are willing to pay for it. Now, during the seminar that you offer, if you have other events coming up, then you can sell that to them as well. So for instance, if I was doing, like today, I'm talking about how to make money from public speaking. If in a week's time I was going to do a one-day training course on that, then I would tell people about it today. Oh, by the way, even though I'm speaking about it today, in a week's time, if you want a more in-depth hands-on course, I'm offering a course in a week's time. It'll be £150 for one day, blah, 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 that give them the details on how to do it. Now, one of the advantages of that is because if you already have an audience, they're already listening to you, then they're more likely to want to come to something else if you do your job well. And that's the key. You have to do your job well. And like I said, you have to learn how to speak and speak well. But once you do that, then people are willing to pay for it. Now, during the seminar, what you could do is you could offer a discount for those who have attended this seminar. So I could say for everybody listening today, there is a 10 or 20% discount on the webinar I'm going to do in a week's time, if you sign up today. All right? If you sign up today. So let's say it's £150. I could say I will knock off 10% of that if you sign up today. Now, when you say if you sign up today, what it does is it creates an urgency. And once there is urgency, it causes people to take action. So if you make it very clear that after today, that offer will close. If you sign up tomorrow, it will be full price. Then that makes people take up the offer in an urgent manner. It creates an urgency, and people are moved or influenced into taking a move to sign up for whatever it is that you're offering. I also wanted to throw one fallacy out of the water. People feel that, oh, if I charge, then people might not want to pay. Listen, one of the things that I've learned, and research has shown this to be true, is that people who pay to attend an event, not only do they pay attention at that event, but people who spend money to attend an event spend more money at that event. I'm going to say that again. People who spend money to attend an event spend more money at that event. So people who pay to attend an event are more likely to pay for other products, any products that you have at that event. So let's say you have a book, or you have CDs or DVDs or other things, or you have an offering of another event that's coming along. They are more likely to spend more money at that event because you've already hooked them. You've already gotten them. And the fact that they have turned up to your event means that they are interested in what you do. So don't be afraid. Don't think, oh, well, they've already paid to attend an event. If I start selling something else, they may not want to start. No. Research shows that the contrary is the case. People who spend to attend an event will spend more money at that event. Okay. You then begin to build a database. So if you're just starting out in speaking, once you've done one event, begin to build a database. So begin to build a list of names and contacts information about those who attend your event. So you could ask them, let's say you are recording it, and you should record all your seminars. You could ask them, let's say it's a webinar, you could ask them to put their contact details in the chat. Put their contact details in the chat so that you have that. And then you can, once you've finished speaking with them, you send them something. You could say, thank you for attending. Thank you for attending my event. And then give them information about other things that you might be doing. Perhaps you have a networking event coming along or something like that, or you have a book coming out. Let them know. But you begin to build a relationship with those clients. You remember that I've said in the past that we are in the age of relationship selling. So that's what you begin to do. You begin to build a relationship and build your database and start communicating with those people and keeping them in touch with whatever it is that you're doing. And then they will begin to pay to attend other speaking events that you are holding. All right, I'm going to take a quick break here. And when I come back, I'm going to be giving you more tips on how to make money from public speaking. See you in a moment.
It's your girl, Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. And once again, it's your girl, Bebe Clement. And today on the Bebe Means Business Show, we are discussing how to make money from public speaking. How to make money from public speaking. Listen, as I said before the break, the ability to speak well in public is singularly the most important skill of the 21st century thus far. In the marketplace, whether you're an employee or you're an entrepreneur, if you are deficient in this skill, you are not going to go far. And you are literally leaving money on the table because there's a lot of money to be made from being able to speak well in public. Okay, so just before the show, I was talking you through how to hold a seminar or a webinar if you're just starting out, and then how to build a database and how that database in itself can be monetized. You'll be amazed that people will want to have access to your database, and they're willing to pay for that. So that, again, came out of your ability to speak well in public. It came from a public speaking seminar or webinar that you're having. And people are paying now to be able to access your database or to collaborate with you in relation to your database. So it's very, very important that you use that, again, to build a community, and that in itself will become a source of income. Now, I said before the break that it's important that you record your seminars or whatever you're speaking about. It's important that you record them because you can use them, you can have them edited for different media. You can have them made into short clips that you can play on social media, which I often do. You can have them edited and put on social media. Again, that improves your branding. It plays to your branding. It improves your marketing. You can use that to sell another speaking engagement that you have. You can use it to sell that. You can use it as an advert. You can have it edited that you can use it as an advert. For instance, if you wanted to advertise on our show, on the BB Means Business Show, you could play it in between the breaks, which actually is a good opportunity to tell you that you are now able to advertise on the BB Means Business Show. If you want to be a guest, or you want to play your jingle, or you want to advertise your product or your services, you are now able to do that. So drop me a line at bb@bbclement.com. That's bb@bbclement.com. Or go to my website and just fill out the contact form and let me know what you want to do, and I will send you the rates. You can now advertise on the BB Means Business Show. You can have a guest appearance, or you can ask me to market your product or your service, or you can play your jingle, whatever. There's a whole lot of packages, or we can just make something around whatever it is that you want to do, something that's right for you. It's affordable and it's great. We have up to 3,000 viewers of this show, and it's global. It's global. So if you want to use this show to get into other parts of the world, this is a great platform to use. But yes, that opportunity is now available to you. So just let me know, and I can let you know how to do that. Okay, now this radio show is another example of public speaking. Now this radio show was born out of the whole issue of COVID. When COVID started, and as you know, I'm a public speaker, and there was no longer an opportunity to meet my clients in public. There was no in-person meetings. So I had to pivot and think of a way in which I could still stay connected with my community, or my tribe as they call them now. So how I could still stay connected with my community. And so I thought, okay, a radio show would be a good way to do it. Now again, this has done wonders for my branding, because it has opened me up to a group of people that probably would never have known who I was. Again, like I said, we have quite a strong following in Africa, particularly Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Tanzania, and Kenya. So it's possible that people in those countries may never have known who I was, but for this radio show. And of course, business is coming in through them. I'm getting, I've been asked to come and speak. I get calls from Africa to come and speak, that kind of thing. So you can see how using one medium to speak in public opens the doors to other opportunities to make money. So another thing that having this radio show has helped me do is it has helped me clarify my demographic. When I speak about a lot of things, but in particular I speak about business and entrepreneurship quite a lot. So it's helped me clarify, okay, who exactly listens or is interested in hearing me speak in relation to business and entrepreneurship. And because me and my team, we look at the statistics every week, the statistics have identified that this show appeals mostly to men. Men between the ages, in particular, of 35 to 44 is my largest demographic. So that's quite interesting. And I might not have known that, but for this show. So again, that helps you. Getting that kind of information helps you. So you know that if you are going to have another event, if you're going to have another speaking event, you know exactly who to market to. So you don't spend hundreds or thousands of pounds marketing to housewives when your target audience is men who are between the age of 35 and 44. Do you understand what I mean? So these kind of things are quite important, and it's only by speaking that you get to know all this, get all this information. Okay, so let's talk about YouTube. YouTube is another avenue to make money from public speaking. Now, one of the things that I do is I put all past programs on YouTube. I have a channel on YouTube called BB Means Business Channel, which is another opportunity for me to let you know that. So for those of you who don't know, you can check out all past programs that we do. They are on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, BB Means Business, and can I ask that you please subscribe, like, subscribe, forward, share, do whatever you need to do, but particularly subscribe. If you have, I understand it's 1,000 members. If you have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can begin to make money from YouTube. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much they pay, but you can find that out from YouTube yourself. But yes, if you have 1,000 subscribers and over, you can begin to make money from YouTube. Again, that is another income stream that you have developed just for public speaking. And it is the same, in my case, it is the same material that I'm using on this radio show that I'm posting on YouTube. But you make money from that as well. So please go to YouTube, BB Means Business Show, and make sure that you subscribe there so I can make some more money. Thank you very much. Now, people speak for different reasons. Some people speak because they want to disseminate knowledge. Some people speak because they're just giving information, that kind of thing. I speak because I'm what we call in the industry a transformational speaker. In other words, I'm not satisfied with just giving information. That's not what I'm about. I aim to inspire change in people for the better. That's what I want to do. Whenever I speak, I don't care what I'm speaking about, whether I'm preaching in the church, whether I'm speaking about business, whether I'm speaking about public speaking, I don't care what I'm speaking about. But what I aim to do is to transform people's lives, to change people's behavior for the better. Because this is in line with my personal philosophy of put your signature on life. And I think one of the ways in which you help people put their signature on life is if you help them change their behavior. So, I would strongly encourage you that when you speak, whatever it is you're speaking about, whether you're speaking about cooking, whatever, aim to be a transformational speaker. Transformational speakers make a difference in people's lives. They make a difference. And people always remember people who make a difference in their life. They always do. They mean more to them. And they're more willing to sow into their lives by way of finance than if you just disseminate information. So, again, that's just a tip for you there. Now, I want to talk about how to sell from a stage. How to sell from a stage. And I want to talk about that because most people find it very difficult to do, including myself. I must say I'm a lot better at it. I'm a lot more confident at doing it. But most people absolutely hate having to sell from a stage. And when I say sell from a stage, what I mean is to sell something while they are speaking. So whether it is to sell a book, or to let people know that they're going to have a webinar in a week's time and get people to sign up for that, they don't like doing that. They don't mind producing a flyer and putting it on social media, but to actually have to stand in front of a group of people and sell a product or a service, most people hate doing it. So one of the things that I think could help you do that is because one of the reasons what people hate doing it is because they don't like selling. And really, it's just a mental block. The whole idea of, oh, I don't like selling is purely a subliminal mental block. There's nothing to it. So one of the ways in which you can get over it is one of the ways I got over it is when I read a book by Daniel Pink, which I would encourage you to read, called, I think it's called To Sell is Human. That's it. To Sell is Human. Yes, that's a book by Daniel Pink. To Sell is Human. And in that book, he was telling us that, listen, we are all in sales now. Everybody is selling. You just don't realize that you're selling. So if you're a teacher, you are selling. What are you selling? You are selling an education to your students. You are telling them in a subtle way that if you listen to what I have to say and you acquire the knowledge that I'm trying to pass to you, and you do something with it, you will have a better life. That's what you're saying as a teacher. If you are a preacher, what you are selling. If you're a Christian preacher, you are selling Christ to your congregation. Now, you may not like that terminology, but that is what you're doing. You are selling Christ to them. That if you follow Christ and you make him Lord of your life, you will have a better life. You will become more Christ-like. God will intervene in your life and change it. And of course, at the end of the day, the promise of going to heaven will be yours. So that you are selling. You're selling Christ to them. If you are a parent and you are trying you are speaking to your child and trying to get them to stay in school or to have the right type of friends or that kind of thing, you are selling. That's what you're doing. So let's get away from the fear of selling. You are selling anyway. Even if you're a doctor and you're telling your patient, listen, if you don't cut down on your cigarettes, you're going to be dead in 5 years' time. You are selling. What are you selling? You're selling a healthy lifestyle. So once you get over that problem in here, about selling, you'll find it a lot easier to sell. You're selling anyway, so you might as well sell and make money from doing so. So I just want to give you a few tips on how to do that. Okay, so how to sell from a stage. 1, be committed. What do I mean by that? Give them enough information to help them take the next step on that day. All right, give them enough information about what it is you're offering. So it's not as enough to just say, oh, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to be having a seminar on how to start a small business. Yeah, so what? That's not enough information. What you need to be saying is that on the 15th, oh guys, just by the way, on the 15th of April, I'm going to be having a half-day webinar on how to start a small business. It's going to be held at wherever, if it's online, it's going to be held online. Give them the price. Tell them how much they're going to pay for it. If you have an early bird fee, tell them how much the early bird fee and when that early bird fee ends. And then get them to sign up there and then. You can tell them that in 2 minutes time, when I finish speaking to you, I'll be at the back of the room, or my assistant is at the back of the room. You can go and sign up today, and then if you do sign up today, there'll be a 10% discount. Now that has given them enough information to take action. That's what you want to do when you're trying to sell from a stage. Give them enough information to take action. Don't give them scanty information. So be committed to the information you're giving, and be committed to getting them to take action now. Because if you wait until they leave the place, too much time passes. Life gets in the way, they forget, that kind of thing. But while they're listening to you speak, and they're still standing under the inspiration of whatever it is that you have said to them, and if you've done your job well, they're already geared up, they're already inspired, they're already fired up. That is the time to do it. And even when you're doing the seminar, don't let too much time pass between the time you tell them about the information and the time they can sign up. So don't tell them the information at the beginning of your speaking session and then wait until the end of your session for them to sign up. No. So let's say you're coming up to a lunch break. You can do it maybe 5 minutes before the lunch break and let them do it during the lunch break. That's how you do it. Now, be unattached to the outcome. What do I mean by that? Get your emotions out of it, all right? One of the problems that we have when we're trying to get people to sign up or to sell a product or a service to people when we're speaking is we are too emotionally involved. We start thinking, oh my God, supposing I fumble when I say it, supposing I give them the wrong information, supposing nobody signs up, oh my God. Once you begin to do that, it will affect your delivery. So get your emotions out of it. Your job is to give them the information. Whether they sign up or not is irrelevant. Your job is to focus on giving them sufficient information for them to take action, and then leave it at that. If they sign up, great. If they don't sign up, great. You haven't lost anything. You can have a look and then review what could I have done better that would have made them sign up. But get your emotions out of it. Be unattached to the outcome. Now, when you're giving them the information, be clear, be confident, and be relaxed. Because if you're tense, or if you're scared, or if you begin to stammer and fumble, that is a red flag to the people who are listening to you. It's a red flag. And it will impact their decision. It will impact the decision. So just be relaxed, be calm, and be confident in the information that you're giving them. And like I said, get your emotions out of it, and then let them do whatever it is that they need to do. Now, whenever you're trying to sell from a stage, you need to offer extraordinary value. Extraordinary value. So your initial talk should have such good content, even if it's free. I don't care whether it's free. And by the way, let me say this. Your delivery, the level of your delivery should not be dependent on whether somebody has paid or not. And what I mean by that is this. Some people will give a shabby performance or a not up to par performance because the people that they're speaking to haven't paid. I would do away with that. Whenever I speak, I always come from the mindset of I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve these people with this gift that I have. Whether they've paid for it or not, I'm going to give the very best. Whether there's one person in the room or there's 1,000 people in the room, I am going to give my very best. So I would encourage you to do that. So once you have that kind of mindset, it's almost automatic that you give extraordinary value. So my content will be great. Definitely, it will be great. So what you want people to be thinking, even if it is a free event, what you want people to be thinking is that, oh my God, if I got so much good content and I didn't pay anything for it, imagine what I would get if I do pay for the thing that she's offering. That's how you want people to be thinking. But if you've just given them, bare material that they could have found themselves if they just clicked the first thing they saw on Google, then what's the point? But give them great content, extra value for money. I always say over deliver and under promise. That's what you need to seek to be doing even when you're speaking. The value must override the cost. The value, whatever it is that you are trying to sell, the value of it must override the cost. What do I mean by that? What you need to get people to do is shift their mind from the cost to the value that they would get when they attend the next course or the next seminar or whatever product it is you're trying to sell to them. So let's say I was offering a seminar for a one-day seminar for £250. Let's say I was offering that. So your audience might be thinking, wow, in these austere times, £250 is a bit much. But if you are able to show them that at the end of this seminar, it's almost a done deal, that I will arm you with enough tools to be able to get 4 or 5 new clients. I will give you enough information and arm you with enough tools in order to get 5 new clients. And let's say each of those clients is going to pay you £100. Clearly, if I'm going to get 5 new clients and they're going to pay me £100 each, that's £500. So the fact that it's going to cost me only £250 to learn how to do that, it's a done deal. I'm going to pay for that. I'm going to pay for that because it's, the value far outweighs the cost. So what you need to be doing when you are selling from a stage is help people concentrate on the value. How will their lives be different by signing up to your next seminar? What is it that they can't do now that they'll be able to do if they sign up to your next seminar? Those are the kind of things that you need to be getting across. How will what it is you're going to teach them affect their business? How will it improve their bottom line? That kind of thing. That's what you need to get them to concentrate on. Once you're able to get them to see that, then the cost is not of much relevance. The cost is not of much relevance. It is the value that you have to concentrate on. And what a lot of people do is, because they think the amount that they are charging is too much, they kind of skirt around that. Spend a lot of time talking about, it might be expensive, it might be expensive. No, forget the expense. You just talk up the value and then just state the expense. That's it. Okay, all right, we're going to take another short break. As you know, this is a live show, and we'd like to hear your questions and your opinions. So if you do have any questions or opinions for us, please by Indeed, put them in the chat. If you're joining us from Facebook, just put them in the chat. Or if you're joining us from Twitter, our Twitter handle is @StarRadioUK, or you can text or WhatsApp us on 0753 9661 744. That number again is 07539 661 744, or email us at info@StarRadioUK, and when we come back, I will share any questions or opinions or information that has come in. See you in a minute.
Hi everyone, it's your Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
ready for this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB Means Business Show. And today, as you know, we're talking about how to make money from public speaking. How to make money from public speaking. Listen, there's a lot of money to be made, from public speaking. And I hope you've picked up some tips already. But I want to give you some steps to having an effective public speaking presentation, an effective public speaker, some things that you need to know how to do if you're going to be an effective public speaker that will make people want to pay to hear you speak. Number one, create connection with your audience. Create connection with your audience. Now, stories are a good way at doing this, and that's because stories make people feel. Why do we go to the movies? We go to the movies because movies make us feel. And it might even be a negative feeling. Some crazy people watch horror movies. I don't want to be scared out of my wits, but some people enjoy that. But it makes them feel. Why do we watch love stories? It makes us feel, that kind of thing. So you need to create connection with people. And one of the ways to do that is to weave stories into your speaking. Okay? That helps make a connection with that, particularly in the beginning of your talk. Start with a story. Rule of thumb, if you lose people within the first 30 seconds of your talk, it's very unlikely that you would get their buy-in again. So within the first 30 seconds, you must establish some kind of connection with them. Or you could ask them a question. That again establishes a connection because it makes them think. You've made them think. And that establishes a connection. So ask them a question that they have to respond to, or ask them to say something to their neighbor. Again, that makes a connection. But get them physically and mentally involved or connected to you or what it is that you're saying to them. So make a connection. That's number one. Number two, establish your credibility very soon. Very quickly into when you start speaking, establish your credibility. And what I mean by that is, whenever you speak in public, people are asking three questions. They may not verbalize those questions, but sublimely, they are asking, or subconsciously, they are asking three questions. Who is this person? What do they have? And why should I listen to them? Or why are they worthy of my attention? They are asking those three questions. And so you need to establish your credentials very, very quickly. So let's say your seminar is on something to do with employment law. You need to let them know that you are an employment law of 20 years standing. You've been practicing employment law for 20 years, which I have. So that kind of thing. Or if I was a speaker, one of the things that often gets people's attention is when I share with them that I have spoken to, I'm an international speaker for a start. I'm not just a local speaker. I'm an international speaker, which means people from all around the world ask me to come and speak. Two, I have spoken to audiences of up to 5,000, and I have been paid up to £10,000 for a one-day speaking engagement. So once you've established your credentials like that, you will actually see some people do this. That some people will actually sit up in their chair. Others may not do the physical action of sitting up, but mentally they begin to sit up and listen to you. So once you've established your credibility, you get their attention. So it's important that you do that. Get permission to do your thing. Now, people don't like being sold to. So what you need to do is get permission from them to do whatever it is that you're doing. So you could say something like, I'd like to share with you some things that have helped me in my entrepreneurial journey. Is that okay? Raise your hand if it's okay for me to share with you or to arm you with some tools that are going to help you on your journey. Once you do that, again, people who give permission for you to speak into their lives pay attention. They pay attention. So that's quite important that you do that. So the first one, like I said, is create connection, establish your credentials, and then get permission to do whatever it is that you want to do. Come from a place of humility. Well, this is something I do, so I would encourage you to do that. Come from a place of humility. Don't come from a place of I have arrived, or I know what I'm doing and you don't know what you're doing, so you better listen to me. Because if you come from that place, it will come out in the way you speak, in your delivery. That mindset will come out in the way you speak to your audience, and they will pick up on that. So come from a place of humility. I always think that I'm blessed with the gift that I have, and I just want to share it. I just want to do what God has asked me to do and share the gift that I have. and to help improve somebody's life in so doing. And I think that comes across in the way I speak. People often say that to me, that, the way you spoke, I felt like I was speaking to my sister. I didn't feel like I was speaking to a successful entrepreneur or something like that. I felt that I could connect with you, I could speak with you. And people will often come up to me after the talk and share things that often have nothing to do with what I was speaking about. They will share intimate things. It's amazing. You could be speaking about business and someone will come up to you and share something about their marital problems. It's amazing. But once you come from a place of humility, that helps you make a connection with people as well. Now, engage with your content. Don't try and wing it. I think it's not being authentic when you do that. Oh, I'll practice 15 minutes before I speak. I don't care how long you have been speaking, you should engage with your content. And by that I mean you should make sure you know your stuff inside out. Inside out. Don't be a poor presenter. If people have paid to come and listen to you speak, even if they haven't paid, they are worthy of receiving the best that you can bring. So ensure that you bring the best. Know your content inside out. Be clear in your delivery. And give the very best that you can. Because if you don't, if you start your talk with a lot of ums and ahs and I'm not sure and that kind of thing, and you're not able to answer basic questions that they ask you about the area of expertise that you're supposed to have, then you lose credibility, and people will not sign up to a future event or a future speaking engagement. They will not sign up. Then you need to establish a need. Now, this is really important. People often know that they have a problem. 9 times out of 10, the reason why they've signed up to your seminar is because they have a problem in a particular area. But often, people do not know what exactly that problem is. And even when they do know what the problem is, they don't know how to articulate it. Your job as a speaker, a good speaker, is to help people understand what the problem is. And then help them articulate that problem and show them how to overcome it. So, for instance, Henry Ford, you remember Henry Ford, all those Ford cars, the car maker. Henry Ford used to say, if I had asked people what they wanted by way of transport improvement, they would have said to me, we want faster horses. Whereas what they actually needed was a completely different mode of transportation. But they didn't realize that. They didn't know that. They didn't understand that. So your job as a speaker is to help them discover what exactly the problem is, and then help them articulate it, formulate it and articulate it, and then show them how to overcome it. People who speak well are able to help others clarify their problems. In other words, show them the disconnect between where they are and where they need to be. That's part of your job as a public speaker. Then what you do is you offer your product or your service as the bridge that will move them from where they are, which is where they're not supposed to be, or is keeping them back, or to where they're supposed to be. So let's say they're having problems attracting new clients. That is the problem that they're having. Yeah? And you have identified that actually they might think that their problem is they're not spending enough money on Facebook marketing. Whereas actually their problem is that they procrastinate and they're lazy. You need to find a way to articulate that and tell them in a manner in which they can receive it, and then provide information that will help them get past that. Give them skills that will help them get past that. So if it means explain to them that they're going to have to deny themselves some Netflix time, or they're going to have to look for a mentor that will help them, those kind of things. So you need to show them the disconnect between where they are and where they need to be, and let them know that your service or your product or your whatever it is that you are selling is the bridge to help them get from where they are to where they need to be. Okay? Now, don't apologize for whatever it is you're offering. Don't apologize for it. So you use language like, I'm going to give you an opportunity to equip yourself. That's what you do. I'm going to give you an opportunity to equip yourself. Don't apologize for whatever it is you're offering. Even if it costs 5,000, 10,000 pounds, don't apologize for the cost. You are providing an opportunity for them to improve their lives. So let them know that, not in an arrogant way, but just let them know that. Because an apology, it weakens you. It weakens you, and you don't want to do that. Now, when you're trying to sell, what you need to do is make a no-brainer offer. Always have more than one offer for a start. So what I mean by that is, if you have only one offer, if you say, okay, I'm going to start an 8-week course on how to set up a small business, and it costs £999. But if I'm sitting in your audience and I don't have £999, mentally that's the end of the conversation. I've tuned out. I don't have £999, so that's the end of that. But if you have like 2 or 3 offers, so you say, I have a gold offer, and the gold offer is £999, and then you tell them what they will get for £999. But if you're not able to do that, I have a silver offer, and for silver, the silver offer, this is what you will get. Maybe the silver offer is £750. This is what you will get. And then I have a bronze offer of £500, and this is what you will get for £500. Now, what you need to do, when I say you make a no-brainer offer, what you need to do is stack the gold offer with so many goodies that it is a no-brainer that, man, I might as well pay for the £999, because this is, I'm going to get so much more than I would get if I just paid the £500 for the bronze one. It's a no-brainer. Okay, that's what you need to do. All right. Now, if the product or the service is quite pricey, one of the things that you could do to help them get over the price is to offer a money-back guarantee or a cooling-off guarantee. So you might say something like, I know you're making a great commitment, particularly in these times. So what we do is this: you have 7 days to cool off. So if you sign up today, so again, always try and get them to sign up on the day. If you sign up today, you have a 7-day cooling off period. And by that I mean that if you change your mind within 7 days, we will refund your money, no questions asked. And of course, make sure that you do that, follow through on that, because if you don't do that, people will tell other people, and that will affect your integrity. But yes, let people do that. I have never, in all the years I've done this, I have never had somebody say, actually, I've thought about it and I no longer want to sign up. No way. But it helps them get past that mental block that, oh my God, I'm parting with £999. Yeah, what am I going to do? It helps them get past that mental block, because they have the guarantee that, well, if I change my mind, I can, I can have my money back. And like I said, I've never, ever had anyone say, I want my money back. So yes, offer them a guarantee. Now, another way of making money is have a continuity program rather than just a one-off. Have something that lasts a long time. So you could have an 8-week training session. I often promote my mastermind group, because I have a mastermind group that lasts 6 weeks. And the reason why you want to have a continuity program is because that brings in steady income. One of the problems that those of us who are self-employed in this space often have is you have pockets of income, and then you have long periods where nobody's buying anything. But if you develop a continuity program, excuse me, you have a continuity program, then that brings in steady income for you. So think of something that you can do. Again, the example I gave when we started, even if you are doing talks about food, you could say, I have a 12-week program on how to cook African dishes. And every week you cook a different dish. You talk them through how to cook a different dish. That's a continuity program, and that brings in steady income. So make sure you have one of these. And then, of course, while you are speaking, you need to position yourselves in the mind of your audience as the go-to person. It's imperative now that particularly within my community, that whenever people think of a speaker in the space of entrepreneurship or business startup, I've got to be one of the first names they think of, guaranteed. If I'm not the first, I'm definitely going to be the second name that they think of, because I have built up, I have positioned myself as the go-to person in my space, in the space of business, startup, and entrepreneurship. Also, further credibility is given by my book, that I am the person you need to come to if you're thinking about business and entrepreneurship and startups. So that's what you need to do. You need to be dropping certain things as you speak that establishes you in their mind as that person. All right, let's talk about another way in which you can make money from public speaking. Another way is by being a facilitator. A facilitator. Now, a facilitator provides help with things like group discussions in front of an audience. So let's say if you've ever been to a conference where they've had like different speakers, a panel of speakers, the person who holds the mic and who guides the speakers and goes back and forth between the speakers and the audience, that's a facilitator. Again, facilitators, and I sometimes do facilitation, a lot of money is paid to facilitators. A lot of money is paid to facilitators because the right kind of facilitator can make your conference or your meeting or whatever, it can make it golden if you have the right kind of facilitator. And if you have the wrong one, it can totally mess it up. It can turn what should be a vibrant, engaging event into a boring, monotonous, sleep-worthy event, and you don't want that. So you can actually, if you establish yourself as a great facilitator, you can actually make a lot of money from that. Now, if you're going to be a facilitator, one, you need to be quite intelligent. You need to be able to follow a logical argument through. You need to be attentive to be able to listen to what is being said, and you need to be comfortable addressing and guiding high-ranking people. People who are quite high up there, because often, particularly when you're facilitating conferences, they're usually people who are well-read, people who are quite wealthy, that kind of people. So you need to, be able to speak confidently around those kind of people. Now, a skilled facilitator should be able to do some of these things. So if you're thinking of earning money through facilitation, these are some of the things that you need to learn how to do. One, a skilled facilitator should be able to ask probing questions. Probing questions. Two, you should be able to ask logical, valid questions that relate to what has been said. All right, logical, valid questions, not just questions for the sake of saying something, but questions that relate to what has been said, that will challenge either the speaker or the audience. All right, you have to learn to be able to do a verbal dance, and by that I mean to be able to steer the verbal ship of what is being said. Know where to probe a little deeper. So maybe one of the speakers has said something. You need to be able to know when to challenge what they've said, or to probe a little deeper. Could you give more information or shed more light on that? Or where to move away from something that is clearly going to blow up in the speaker's face if he continues down that line, that kind of thing. Or if a question is being asked, perhaps the question has been asked in an angry manner, or it has been asked in a way that what the person asking the question is trying to say, but the way they have formed the question, maybe the speaker is not going to get it. You are able to reword that question in a way that's going to diffuse any tension, or in a way that is going to be able to be received in a lot better manner, that kind of thing. You need to have those kind of skills if you're going to be a facilitator. Now, if you're a facilitator, you are supposed to be neutral. So nobody is interested in your opinion. So you're not supposed to be interjecting your opinion. You're supposed to be neutral and not impose your views. That's not what you're there for. You're not supposed to impose your views. You should be able to summarize what has been said. So again, you have to be able to have good listening skills so that you know what has been said and you're able to summarize what has been said. You should be confident in taking questions and know who to address them to. So if you have a panel of maybe 4 or 5 people and they have been speaking about different areas of expertise, and somebody from the audience asks a question, you should know which of the panel members is best equipped to answer that question. Don't address a question to somebody who has no idea about that and has to say, well, I don't think I'm best equipped to answer that. Maybe you should ask panel member B. That weakens you as a facilitator. You should know by one, having read their background or their bio, or having listened to what they said, you should know the best person to address that question to. Now, there are different types of facilitation. I remember my last book launch, I had a facilitator, and he was excellent. I paid him a lot of money, but he was excellent, and he made the evening. He was charming, he was funny, he was entertaining, he was engaging, and we discussed beforehand the best way in which to do the launch, and we decided on an interview type style. And it was really good. The way he facilitated it was really good. So people were able to make a connection with me. People who had never met me but had come to the book launch were able to make a connection with me because of the kind of questions that he asked. They got to know me a bit more. They get to understand the reason why I wrote the book and that kind of thing. And so when it came to the time to actually launch the book, people were ready to buy. People were ready to buy. So a facilitator is really, really important, and that's why they paid them a lot of money. So there are different types of facilitation. You need to find the one that you are comfortable doing. Some people are not comfortable doing things like conference facilitation, but they're more comfortable. Their style is more attuned to things like book launches or things like that. You could also become something like a keynote speaker at an event. Again, that's another way in which you can make some more money. I think actually I'll do a part 2 of this because there's some other things that I wanted to say, but we've come to the end of the show. So perhaps I'll do a part 2 of this next week on how to make money from public speaking. I hope you've enjoyed the show and you've picked up some good tips. Let me know. Drop me a line and let me know if you found today useful. Of course, let other people know about the show. And again, like I said, we now have a BB Means Business YouTube channel. Please go there, subscribe. And if you want to appear on the show as a guest, or you want to advertise, or you have a logo, you have a product or a service, or an event coming up that you want to promote on the show, then please let us know and I will send you the rates. Thank you so much for coming again today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, stay blessed. And like I always say, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show,